Hello and welcome back to Bits and Bobs. In today's video we're going through every rare and error coin you might have in your change in your wallet from the 1p up to the £2, so let's begin. This is a long video, but after watching it all you will know exactly what coins that in your change are worth a lot of money, whether they are rare dates or errors to look out for. Like I say, let's begin with the penny. Now before we begin, one thing to clarify is new penny coins. The new pennies are not rare and valuable. Just because your coin says new penny does not mean it's worth any more than a penny. Now, these new penny coins were minted in 1971 to a mintage of 1,521,666,250. They are very common. So new pence isn't rare or valuable, except, however, for one date. There is one date to look for on a new penny coin, and it is this, the 1972 new penny. A coin definitely worth looking out for in your change to check your pennies for the 1972. As none were made for circulation, it's an NIFC, not intended for circulation. Due to this, you can see on screen, it now sells for around about £10, as the only way to get one is from a proof set, as like I say, none were issued for circulation. You can see here a proof coin only, and from 1972 commands around £11 or £10. Now between 1973 and 2017, every single year was minted in the hundreds of millions, if not billions sometimes. But then we come to 2018, which is our next NIFC year, so not intended for circulation. But as always with many coins of all denominations, some will have been broken out and spent, and they now sell on eBay for around £20. This one here, £22.95. This one here, £34 for this rare 2018 penny. And we can see here a graded example selling for £38. So definitely check your pennies and make sure you haven't got you have got a 2018. Similarly, 2019 was also an NIFC, not intended for circulation, so the 2019 penny is worth much more than a penny. Now selling for a similar price on eBay of around about £20. Here is one for £18.95. Here we have one for £18.75, so just under £20 for the 2019 penny, another very rare penny to look for, and we have here a graded example for £34. So definitely one to be looking for. Now there are no more NIFC coins to look for, so there's only 3 years that did not circulate, so the ones to look for that reason. But we have here a few varieties up next. This is the Privy Mark variety. We can see a 26/22 Privy Mark on all the definitive coins as a memorial to Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. Now these were not released into circulation, but on each of the designs they will all sell for about £20 each, so including the penny, it is a £20 or so coin if it has that small Privy Mark behind the Queen. So look out for that. Now of course we have the new King Charles III coins up next, with the penny featuring the Hazel Dormouse. Now the first year, 2023, the annual sets were released with a Privy Mark. We can see a crown there behind King Charles III on all the denominations, and similarly this crown, as with a Privy Mark for the Queen's Memorial, is not for circulation. We can see here the one for the penny, but this video of course is all about pennies, and the penny sells for around about £5 with this Privy Mark. And the circulation variety is also exciting, as you can see here the mintage is only 600,000, so very, very rare compared to hundreds of millions and billions before, so a rare one to look out for. Has not been released yet, so we do not know a price yet, but with a mintage of 600,000 it will certainly be more than a penny. And we do not know the mintage for the 2024 as of recording. So there's some rare ones to look out for in varieties. Now onto the error coins. We have up this coin first. Now this does not look like a penny because it's a 20p, or is it? We can see the colour is wrong. This is a 20p design struck onto a penny blank, so a penny coin ready to go, but was struck accidentally with the 20p design. So an error in matching up of the dies and the designs, causing this error penny or error 20p, however you look at it, to sell for £750, worth looking out for. The Royal Mint do, not in error, but also make silver pennies. We can see there both designs, but in error, they could have been spent or released into circulation, so always make sure your penny is the right metal. So we can always, as with always all coins, double check the metal. And with the next example is even more drastic. We can see here this is a penny ready to go, the penny blank ready to be stamped, but it was stamped somehow with a 50p design on both sides. So pennies included in all denominations. There are always some crazy errors that can happen, so always check your change. Today's video we're going through the rare and valuable 2p coins that you might have in your change, in your wallet, or in your coin jar. I will first go through all the rare dates to look out for, and then go on to the errors. We begin first though with a disclaimer and a warning. Notice here we have a new pence 2p. This coin is not valuable. It is not worth any more than its face value, because it just says new pence. There are some rare years to look out for and some errors containing the new pence design, but new pence in and of itself is not rare, so bear that in mind. Our first rare year to look out for though is 1972, so it is a new pence 2p. This year has a mintage of 150,000, as it is an NIFC. Now for reference for future in this video, NIFC means not intended for circulation, so none were made for circulation this year. As with other years, they were only made for collector's sets, proof sets, and they now sell for around £5. We can see here some eBay listings, around £5 for the 1972 2p, so keep a sharp eye out for this coin in your change. The year after that as well, 1973, is again an NIFC, with a mintage of only 100,000 for the collectors of that year. Now, over 50 years later, this 1973 2p coin is worth around £15 to £10. It is a more desirable one. You can see here a listing for £15 for 1973 2p, and here's one for about £10, but it is in worse condition. So do look out again for that 1973. Now they made so many, over 1.4 billion in 1971, the 1972, 73 and 74 are all NIFC years. The 1974 with a mintage of 100,000, and then therefore again, one that is worth looking out for in your change, as it should not technically be there. These sell for around £10. Once again, we can see here a 1974 2p around £10, and here's one for £9.99 again for the 1974 2p. So again, look out for this date. The next rare date to look out for is 1982. We can see now this one has a mintage of a bit higher, with 311,800 being made, but again, not intended for circulation. So it is an NIFC, but just with a higher mintage. Although these command quite the premium still, as they sell for around £10 to £12 for that 1982 2p. Here's one for £8, perhaps a bit of a bargain. So around, £5 to £10, £15 or so for this scarce and desirable date of 2p. So again, definitely look out for that date. Now 1983, the year after, is again one to look out for. Although they made 744,900, these are not ones for circulation, so they were all not intended for circulation coins, and so are worth a pretty premium if you do find one in your change, worth much more than 2p, selling for around £5 or £7 on the second-hand market. You can see here a listing for £6 for one, so around about £5, £6 or £7 for the 1983. Now we have again 3 in a row here, as 1984 is NIFC once again, with a mintage of 265,340, and don't worry, we will recap these rare dates at the end, so you can sort of screenshot those rare dates in one image to look out for them. But this one here, 1984, does sell for a similar price of around £5, £6 or £7 on the second-hand market. There's a very large gap now. Every year is made from then on up until 2018 is our next NIFC. So we have 33,086 produced in 2018 for the collectors and none for circulation for the first time since the 80s. This is then again a premium coin, which sells for around £8 to £9 to £10 on eBay and on the second-hand market. So around, £10 or a bit less than £10 for this coin. Once again, we have 3 in a row, spoiler alert there, as 2019 is again an NIFC, with 44,158 being struck for the collectors of that year, and the coin will now sell for around the similar price of just under £10 for the scarce 2019 2p coin. So again, one definitely to look out for. Like I say, there was 3 in a row once again, with 2020 being an NIFC, and 56,468 of them were produced for collectors. So they do exist, of course, as they're minted every year for collectors, but not every year for circulation. And the ones that are only made for collectors now sell for a premium, and for this 2021 specifically, this sells for around £4 to £5 on the second-hand market, as we can see here for a 2020 2p coin. So again, one to look out for. Now after this, things get confusing for the next rare coins, because the 2022 is our next date that is not intended for circulation. So here we are, 2022 2p NIFC. But there are two varieties. We'll get onto this, but there are two varieties to look out for a few of the upcoming years. So with this one here, the normal sort of standard design 2022 didn't circulate, now sells for around £4 or £5 on the second-hand market, so one to look out for. But we also have the Memorial Privy. Now, of course, this year was the sad passing of Queen Elizabeth II, and to memorialise the occasion, there is a small privy mark on the definitive coins, only released in a set, so not in for circulation. They were just made for the special memorial set with the Memorial Privy mark, but that does mean they're out there, these Memorial 2p coins from part of the set, and these will sell for around £10 to £15, as you can see here, the 2022 Privy Mark 2p coin, so with a small Privy Mark behind the Queen's portrait. Now then, now that she had passed, we have the new coins of King Charles III. We can see the squirrel, the British red squirrel, is now the design for the 2p. However, these, for their first year of minting, had a Privy Mark once again for the bunk versions, and the circulation versions did not have a Privy Mark. So for instance, the 50p, the bunk one has a Privy Mark, and the circulating one has no Privy Mark. Same for the pound coin, 10p, and so on. However, there were no 2p coins made for circulation this year, meaning that the only version is the Privy Mark version. So that's for 2023, the only version available, and these do sell for around £3, £4 or £5 on the second-hand market for that 2023 2p coin that has to have the Privy Mark, as there are no other versions. And as of recording, 2024 mintages are unknown. So there we go, there's the rare dates to look out for. Now on to the error coins. There are two main errors. The first is the 1983 new pence design. So here we have the normal 1983 2p. We can see there saying 2p, but here, notice 1983, but it says new pence rather than 2p. This is an error. Not very many at all were made, but they were made in very small quantities for some of the annual sets that year, made of course in error, and quickly stopped after this error had been noticed. But of course, collectors are now desperate to get this error into their collection. Now the coin sells for around £1,200. This is a screenshot from the Britannia Coin Company selling one for £1,250. They have sold for a bit higher and a bit lower, but they are, comfortably over £1,000. The other error is the silver 2p. It's not actually silver, but it is a 2p minted onto a 10p coin blank. So it's got the silvery colour, but the 2p design. That one sold there, as you saw, for £800. This is a later version, happened again with the use of the shield design. You can see there, again, this one sold for almost £500. These are very valuable coins, between £400 and £900 for these silver 2ps. So these are the two main 2p errors to look out for, but always, as always, I always recommend, do always look out for more errors. So here we are with a recap. The rare dates are 1972, 1973, 1974, 1982, 83, 84, 2018, 2019, 2020, and 2022. So check your change jars and wallets for those rare dates, and as well, look out for the Privy Marks, the 1983 new pence design, and those silver 2ps. In today's video, we'll be discussing rare and error 5p coins that you might have in your change that are worth big money. We will first go through the rare dates to look for, and then on to the errors. One thing to clarify, before 1990, 5p are much larger than they are today. These old large-sized ones are no longer in circulation, and we will not be covering these old large ones. The video today is all about the current, smaller-sized 5p that you have in your wallets and purses today. So let's begin with the rare dates, and the first rare date to look for is 1993. NIFC means not intended for circulation, so none are made for circulation, all made for collectors, to a tune of 123,025, produced that year. Now if you have one from a collector's set or that has slipped into circulation, it is currently worth between £8 and £15. So look out for the 1993 5p. The next NIFC year is much further on in time, with the new shield design there, and it is from 2018, again NIFC, not for circulation, and the mintage of this one is much lower, only 33,087, made for collectors this year, and of course undoubtedly some of them will have slipped into your change, and if you find one in your change it'll sell for around £14 to £20. So a great return on 5 pence if you find it. Now there are no other rare QE2, so Queen Elizabeth II dates. They're the only Queen Elizabeth II dates to look for. But of course recently, we've had the new designs released for King Charles III. This is the coronation design, with a small crown privy mark behind the king's head. These ones are only for collectors, and the ones with the crown on will not be going into circulation. Of course, some of them might have been spent, and if you have one in a collection set, these 5 pence are worth around £3.25 to £6. Now the 2023 circulation variant, which has no privy, the mintage is unknown. It is not yet known if any of these have been struck for circulation. If they have been, for 2023, they will not have a privy mark on them, but we don't know about that yet. And of course this year, 2024, we once again do not know if these are going into circulation. The figures have not been released yet, but so far the ones for the collector's set, the bunk versions, selling for around £4. One other key thing to look for is the 2022 Memorial Privy Mark. So that year was of course the sad passing of Queen Elizabeth II, and then one of each denomination was released with a small 26/22 Privy Mark behind the Queen's portrait on all coins from this year. As you can see, here is the 5 pence with the Privy Mark. Now the mintage is unknown, they were not put in circulation, these variants, and if you find them on the Privy Mark, this 5 pence will sell between £11 and £25. So again, worth having a closer look, as it is a great value return on just 5 pence. Now on to the errors. What error 5 pence coins are worth looking out for that are worth much more than 5 pence? Well, firstly is the 2008 Shield design. There is a variety where the Queen's portrait is upside down, so rather than rotating horizontally, it rotates vertically. So it's not meant to be, of course, that way around. It should line up with the Queen the right way around, of course. And so this 2008 rotation error 5 pence is selling for around £50. A recent sale on eBay did see one fetch £65. So make sure the Queen's facing the right way. Similarly, make sure your coin is the right colour. Here we have a 1992 5 pence coin struck on a copper blank, possibly a Fiji 1 cent blank. But because it was struck on the wrong blank, not the right 5p blank, it sold for a whopping £161. So there we go. Now a quick recap of what to look for on your 5 pence coins. So the key dates to look for is 1993 and 2018. They were not meant for circulation. The collectible coins are the 2022 Privy Mark and any King Charles III coins while they're new and exciting. And then for errors, look for the 2008 rotation and the 1992 error blank on all your lovely 5 pence pieces that could return you much more than 5 pence. Today's video is all about rare and error 10 pence coins that you might have in your change, as these are post 1992, so all ones that are in circulation. We'll do rare dates and then errors, looking out for the coins worth quite a bit of money that you may well have in your change or in your change jar. Beginning with 1993, which is not intended for circulation, has a mintage of only 137,729, and by the way, NIFC means not intended for circulation, so it shouldn't be in your change. But if you do find the rare 1993 10 pence coin in your change, then how much could it be worth? Well, it's currently selling for around £6.50 to £12, so a great return on 10 pence if you have this coin. Another NIFC year is the year directly afterwards, as 1994 is also not intended for circulation, with a mintage of 244,692 intended for collectors. Some, of course, over the 30 years, will have been accidentally spent, I'm sure, and now, if you find one, they will sell for around £4 to £9 on eBay if you're looking to sell that coin, if you're lucky enough to have found it. Moving on to the next NIFC year, this is from 1998, with a mintage of 159,862. So again, a rare year to look out for on your 10 pence pieces, with this one selling for a similar price of around £4 to £9.50 if you're looking to sell this coin after finding it. On to 1999, another not intended for circulation year, with a mintage of 216,840. So again, very rare compared to the tens of millions produced for circulation. And so if you find this coin in your change, then 1999 10 pence will sell for around £7 to £10 if you find it in your change. We then have a long run of all the coins going into circulation until 2018, as in 2018, with now the new design of the shield, this coin did not go into circulation, as in its place, the 26 alphabet letters all went into circulation with individual mintages being quite rare, and even overall the whole set is fairly rare, and very exciting of course to find new different designs and commemorative collectible designs on your 10p pieces. But how many of these were made and how much are they worth? Well, the 2018 alphabet letters have a mintage of 350,000 for each letter, so very, very rare, similar to some of the NIFC years. These alphabet ones from 2018 will sell for around £4.50 to £10 if you have found any of these alphabet letters in your change. And then if we do want to learn more about these alphabet letters, then we do have a full video on every single alphabet 10p and its more specific value. And the 2018 Shield design was not intended for circulation that year, with only 33,086 being produced, so a very rare year, and this one will sell for around £8.25 to £16. So as with the other coins earlier, always check the dates of your 10p pieces. Then the following year, in 2019, once again the alphabet designs were brought back into circulation for the 10p piece to adorn the reverse of the 10p piece. There were 110,000 made of each year of the 2019 alphabet 10p, with the last few letters of the alphabet being slightly rarer, but these 2019 alphabet letters will sell for around £6 to £13 each, so slightly more desirable than the 2018 versions. And the 2019 Shield 10p is a bit more common, with 44,158 being produced, and these Shield ones will now sell for around £9 to £15 online, so again, check the dates and designs of your 10p pieces. On to 2023 now, with the first King Charles III 10p piece being introduced this year. The first year of 2023, we can see has a crown privy mark behind it, as it is the coronation year of King Charles III and has a new design to the reverse. The mintage of these coins is unknown as of recording, but the value is around £5 to £10, so always keep your eyes out for the new design of King Charles III. And then we have the next year, 2024, again with the same reverse design, the new design for the 10p. This also sells for around £5 to £10, and once again the mintage has not been released. Now bear in mind that these are more valuable as they are still new and may go down in value if they are found out to be common. Now then, moving on to the error coins, we have first what's known as a cud error. Now look to the bottom of the coin there, and extra metal has made its way onto the coin. Of course that big sort of triangle bit of metal is not meant to be there, and extra metal or cud error coins generally sell for around £3 to £6. This coin here is a very obvious error, known as a clipped planchet, where you can see the die has struck the corners of the coin and made a bit of a chip off the edge of the coin. Now these can sell usually for around £10 to £20. We can see here one that sold at auction recently for £52. And the opposite of this is a extra bit of metal, so rather than some being clipped off, some coins will have extra metal around the side of the coin. These are very, very obvious errors, it's easy to find, and usually sell for over £100. You can see this one sold at auction for £130, so always keep an eye out for those. One thing to remember is that error coins are a difficult market, not everyone collects them, and the prices are determined by what buyers will be wanting to pay. Now then, let's do a recap of things to look out for in your 10p pieces. So the key dates to look for in a 10p is 1993, 1994, 1998, 1999, 2018, and 2019, those being the key dates to look out for. As well as key dates, look out for key designs, being all 26 of the alphabet letters. All of these letters will sell for much more than 10p. And finally, of course, as always with all coins, look out for the errors. Today's video we're going to be going through rare and valuable error 20p coins you may have. So we'll begin with the rare and valuable errors and then move on to the rare dates. We will begin with the most famous of all 20p pieces, the undated 20p. Now of course this is an error coin rather than a rare date, as of course it has no date at all. Now this is because the design changed from the design we know here, where the date is on the reverse or the tail side, and when it changed, the date then moved over onto the obverse or the head side. So the different designs had the dates on different sides, then causing confusion in the first year of minting, 2008, where the wrong dies were used and matched up, so the new tails or reverse design was used with the old heads design, therefore neither of them had a date on them, and a bunch of coins were made without a date on the 20p piece, causing a very rare error, and making it the first time in over 300 years a British coin entered circulation without featuring a date. And thus the undated 20p piece was born, now considered the holy grail of 20p pieces, within the collecting community. So a very, very rare coin indeed. Now the Royal Mint confirmed that no more than 250,000 were struck, so that's very rare, a similar mintage believed than the Kew Gardens, of course, with 210,000 of the Kew Gardens. These coins now sell for around £65 to £100 on the second-hand market, depending on condition and who wants a 20p piece with no date on that day. So there's the first error to look for. Moving now on to error number 2 for the 20p piece. And this is where the 20p piece is minted onto a penny coin blank. So the coins are very similar sizes, only 1.4mm difference in the size of the planchet, of course a different colour, but nonetheless these error coins were minted and they have been confirmed as being genuine by the Royal Mint themselves, who admitted that the penny blanks had been mistakenly used for an unknown amount of 20p coins. Unknown, but definitely very, very few, resulting, as we can see here, in the penny 20p, so sort of a mix-up between a penny and 20p coin. As you can see there, the real coins to the left and right and between them, this sort of Frankenstein amalgamation of a penny coin and 20p design. These now sell for around £750. This did happen in a few years, so keep your eyes out. They are very, very rare, and of course have a very big, massive value of £750. But a very important note is to make sure your 20p coin is not just dirty. Weigh it before getting excited, thinking it's a penny on a 20p. The 20p coin should be weighing 5 grams, and the penny, and so therefore the 20p error coin struck onto the penny blank, weighs 3.56 grams. Before you get excited, make sure to weigh it and confirm that it is not just a dirty 20p. Now then, moving on to error number 3 for the 20p pieces. Here is error number 3. And can you see what is wrong with this coin? Well, let's zoom in and find out. This is a very small error, but we can see, just here by the initials of MD for Matthew Dent, the designer, at the bottom of the coin, we can see a small bit of extra metal has made its way onto the coin, looking a bit like an upside down 1 on the coin, or a small sort of line of metal below the bottom of the coin. This is known as a die break error, so the die for the coin is broken, resulting in this bit of extra metal that hasn't been stamped out properly. So the die here, as we can see, this is an example of an older die. If anything happens or damage happens to the surface of this coin die, that damage will then be reflected into the coins that it strikes, of course, and so a small number of these error coins, with a small little die break here, were released from the Royal Mint, where the dies for those particular coins had broken. Now, once again, as with most errors, these were minted in unknown quantities. Between the years of 2009 and 2011, they are found with this error. Such errors can fetch around £5 to £50, depending on how severe the error is, the condition of the coin it's on, and of course just generally who in the collector market is looking for one and will bid. So those are the 3 main errors across 20p pieces. There are sort of numerous errors here. This is just a complete failure of a coin. You can see struck on the wrong color coin, it looks like, just completely struck off center. A massive error there. That's just, obviously, you won't need a video to find out that that is definitely an error coin and worth keeping. That exact coin you just saw there sold for £1,800, £1,800 for the coin you just saw, as it is, as you saw, a very, very severe error indeed. So always look out for rare coins. Now, speaking of rare coins, we'll now list the rare dates in chronological order. The first one to look out for is 1986. So no errors for this coin, but just not one struck for circulation, with a collector mintage of only 271,821, struck for proof sets and bunk collector coins. If you find one in circulation, they will now sell for around £10, so a great return on a 20p piece if you're lucky enough to find 1986. Now, there are no more rare dates until 2017, one that was again not minted for circulation, and so the one that you should not find in your change, but if you do, you're very lucky, as only 53,481 were made, and it will now sell for between £20 and £30. So again, great return on 20p. And then the year after, again, 2018, not minted for circulation, even less made for collectors, only 33,078, and will now sell for around £20 to £30 for collectors looking to buy it if you've been lucky enough to find it in your change. And then 2022, there's a few things to look out for now. So here's the first one. Now, the normal one is a very, very common coin, but there is a variety with this little 40 below the Queen's neck, made for the 40th anniversary of the 20p, as of course it was released in 1982. 2022, the 40th anniversary. So there was a special few sets of these made, with the coins here featuring a little privy mark, and this coin now sells for around £150 loose if you find it in circulation, and although originally retailing for only £35, if you have the coin in its set, still original packaging, it will now sell for over £200. Now also the same year we have of course the very sad passing of Queen Elizabeth II, and a memorial issue, 20p coin being released, with a little mark here below behind the Queen's neck, 26 over 22, so the Queen's lifespan 1926 to 2022. And these ones are worth around £22 in loose condition, so if you find it in your change, you can sell it for around £22. And again, this one did come in the set, of course, for collectors, and in the set it will sell for around £125. So again, look out for those coins from 2022 and the privy marks on them. And then finally, on to the 20p of His Majesty King Charles III. No circulating vintage figures have been released so far. However, last year, in 2023, the coins were released in sets, so you can see a little crown mark there behind the King's portrait for the coronation year. These 20p pieces will sell for around £5 to £12 if they are loose, and the whole set will retail for around £30 to £45. Today's video is all about rare and error 50p coins that you may have in your pocket or in your wallet right now. So these will all be circulation size coins, so the new size post 1997, and these will not be commemorative coins. This is not a video about commemorative coins, only the definitive designs. We do have a full video on commemorative coins if you'd like to learn about those. But let's begin now. We'll first go through the rare dates of 50p to look for, and then on to the errors. So the first rare date to look for is the 2008 Britannia, with a mintage of 3,672,577. This is the last year of the Britannia and can sell for around £1 to £2, as it is a bit rarer than the other years. The next year to look for is 2009, with an NIFC mintage. This means not intended for circulation. Only 141,000 odd were struck with collectors, causing this 2009 Shield 50p now to sell for a little under £60 on eBay and on the second-hand market, so a massive price increase, over 100 times profit if you find the 2009 Shield. Similarly, the year after, 2010, again is a not intended for circulation year of coin, and the 2010 has a mintage of only 100,033, so again, 2010, a date to look for on your Shield 50p's. And any of the ones not intended for circulation could have been accidentally spent to be found, as was this one here, now selling for £41, or this one here selling for £35. So great coins to find. 2010 Shields worth around £30 to £40. And once again we have 2011, so 3 dates in a row, again NIFC, 84,981 produced. These now sell for a similar price of around £40 for a 2011 Shield 50p. So again, make sure, even if your coin looks normal, do check the date, as these dates are of course much more worth finding than just 50p. The next date to look out for is 2016, and we will recap these dates, so don't worry. Again, very rare, with only 144,000 of these coins produced in the year of 2016, causing them to now sell for around £84 to £85 on eBay. Here's one for £84.95, here is one for £31, but this still has over a day left for bidding, and I'm sure it will cross that £50 mark at least, so a very, very valuable Shield. Now 2017 is a circulating year of the Shield, with a mintage of 1.8 million, but this does make it the rarest Shield, so the rarest one put into circulation, so do look out for 2017, as these are fairly easy to find, and they do sell for a few pounds on eBay, as it is, like I say, the rarest year of circulating Shields. The year after as well, 2018, is a key date to look for, with only 33,086 being struck for collectors. It is a very scarce coin, and will now sell for around £40 to £50 on the second-hand market and on eBay, so again a great times 100 profit if you find a 2018. And then we have here 2021, again NIFC, with 52,674 produced, and these 2021 Shields are selling for around £26 to £27 on eBay, so almost £30 just for 50p here if you find one. So again, make sure you look for these key dates on your 50p Shield coins. Now moving on to a privy mark design, we have here the memorial privy for the Queen. So as she passed this year of 2022, there was a set released with all the definitive coins from the 1p to the £2, featured a small privy mark showing 26/22 for the Queen's lifetime, and these privy mark designs were not put into circulation. So we can see it here on the 50p, this privy mark here behind the Queen, not intended for circulation, causing the coin to now sell for around £60. We can see here some listings on eBay selling for around £60. So again, a massive markup on price if you find one of these. Now on to the 50p's of King Charles III, with the new design there, as we can see, featuring the Atlantic salmon. Now similarly with the privy mark, the annual set for the King's coronation year of 2023, all the coins released in the bunk packs had a crown privy mark behind the King's portrait. Once again, the privy mark design not intended for circulation, and the privy mark one of this year sells for around £50 to £40 on eBay and the second-hand market. As we can see here, some examples of the BU, so the bunk one, that features this privy mark. And this was a year that circulated, which did circulate with a mintage of 200,000. They can get to the rarest 50p in circulation, so definitely one to look out for, the 2023 with no privy mark. And it is actually rarer than Q, like I say, and sells for over £100 usually, trading hands for between £100 and £130, so a massive price tag for 50p, so definitely one to look out for. And as for 2024 and years after, we currently do not know the mintages. Now then, we'll recap these rare dates to look out for at the end, but for now we'll move on to the errors. What errors are there on 50p's that you should be looking out for? Well, the first one is an error on a commemorative, but it's not, this commemorative here is the Olympic swimming. In and of itself, a few pounds for this coin. There is an error variety though, with lines over the swimmer's face, as we can see here. This one on the Britannia Coin Company that sold for £3,995, so £4,000 for that coin, selling from the Britannia Coin Company. So a very, very worthwhile error to look out for if you find this coin. This one here is a very obvious error to see. As we can see, it's a complete error of strike and composition. What has happened here is that the design, the dies for the 50p, have been accidentally struck onto the blank design or the blank disc for a penny. So rather than this coin being turned into a penny, the 50p dies are used, so it is a 50p, but now of course struck onto a penny. Now there's no real exact price for this coin, but the estimates in value for this is around £600 to £1,000, so definitely look out for things like this, errors in metal and strike on your coins. Now there are no other errors, as per se, like properly errors. There are a few varieties, and please do comment down below if you want a 50p varieties video. So now to recap the rare dates. So then, what dates to look out for? We have the NIFC dates is 2009, 2010, 2011, 2016, 2018 and 2021 as the dates issued not for circulation to look out for, worth around £40 for most of those. Now also, as we said, look out for the memorial and coronation privy mark designs. And then finally, the rare dates that are actually in circulation to find is the 2008 Britannia and the 2017 Shield 50p's, both the rarest of their types. Now today's video is all about the rare and error £1 coins that are worth big money. £1 coins hiding in your wallet, in your pocket, or in your savings jar. Now as you can see here, we have many pound coins, but some of these I'm sure will be worth more than face value, as there are many things to look for on the good old £1 coin, which you all had many of in our time and spend on the daily. But now this video will teach you to look closer at the coin to find out what's worth lots of money. So then we begin with rare dates. We'll go through the rare dates to look for and then move on to the errors. Now the first 5 years are not very rare at all. In fact, they're very common. We've got 650 million for the first year, 750 million for 2017, 130, 2018 and 2019, and then 55 million for 2020. So tens or if not hundreds of millions produced for these first 5 years. So none of these are rare, but we will return to them for errors to look for in the second half. Now then, on to 2021, and in this year there were 21,760,000 pound coins produced. However, these coins are currently unreleased into circulation. They are currently being held in the Royal Mint's long store, waiting for cash centres or banks to order more pound coins. So because of this, they are selling for £15.75. Of course, these will be the ones that are brilliant uncirculated from the Royal Mint collector packs of each year's coinage, rather than the circulating ones, so the price potentially could go down when they were released into circulation. 2022 pound coin, 7,735,000, but that's right, you've guessed where they are. If the 2021 hasn't been released, then neither has the 2022. Again, they're being held at the Royal Mint Long Store, and the uncirculated versions are selling online for around £11. But of course, many of these will be broken up to be bought, and it's very common such a thing to be spent, so you could find one in your change. There is an extra variety to look for with 2022 pound coins, as that year, of course, was the sad passing of the Queen, and there was a memorial privy mark on all the definitive coins from the penny up to the £2. And as you can see here, the 2022 memorial pound coin is selling for around £25 on eBay. And of course, they could have been spent. Any of these coins could have been spent, so check your change. Very important to do so. In fact, as you can see here from this news article, this coin sold for £1,700 and is a rare experimental trial 25 pence, never made for circulation, but a man found it in his change after buying lunch. So you never know what you could find. Now then, on to the new coins of King Charles III, as there are the new designs, and similarly to the memorial mark, there is a coronation privy mark for the first year of 2023, but not for circulation. So some of these coins were released for circulation, but not with the privy mark. The privy mark version now sells for around £10 of the pound coin, but it is worth noting that the whole set, so from the penny up to the £2, therefore including the pound, will sell for £40, so potentially more cost effective to buy it that way. Now then, this year also, in 2023, some of the £1 coins were put into circulation. They were fast-tracked, so they skipped the 2021 and 2022 that we saw, and the 2023 were put into circulation to get the King Charles ones out and about. And the new ones are now selling for around £2 or £3 with this new design. Then this year, 2024, unconfirmed if they're going into circulation or not, but so far the ones from the annual set, again, selling for around £10, and the whole set for around 35 to 40. So there's those ones. Now on to the error coins. There are three main error pound coins to look for. Number one is the microtext error, the hardest of all to see. Now you will maybe know, on the outside of pound coins, there is microtext for the date on the reverse there. As you can see, the date in the edge of the coin is said in microtext. Now in 2016, some were accidentally struck with the 2017 microtext, so mismatching dates. As you can see here, look to the left, 2016 pound coin, but the microtext says 2017. Very hard to see without a magnifying instrument to see it better. But what is this dual dated pound coin worth? Well, Change Checker have understood that one example was sold for £2,500 in 2017, so definitely look out for that. Number two is the single metal variety, error variety of the pound coin. As you can see here, the whole coin is made out of the outer metal. There is no silver part for the inner, of course an error, as it's meant to be a bimetallic coin. Now you can see here the estimate of this coin in auction, 1,000 to 1,400. Now similarly, maybe not the whole coin is an error of the metal, but the inner part could be minted in error. As you can see here, clearly a horrific error in terms of manufacturing, but it now will sell for around £600 depending on the severity of such errors. Now one thing worth noting, if the middle of the coin is out of the coin, that does not mean it's rare, and probably it's actually worth less than £1 as it's just been pushed out and now the coin has been ruined, not a mint error. Now these errors are still being found. Look at this, one day ago, a £600 error £1 coin minted in all one metal was found by a postmistress. Now then, number three is the lefty. Again, fairly hard to see, but we need to look now. Look to the edge milling of your pound coin. Let's get a close-up on this to see. Now you will see here there is milling, and here there is not. Now a lefty, if we get around here, is where the milling is, you guessed it, to the left. So here we go. There is the milling, but if it is over here on the left of the security feature there, to the left, it is a lefty and much rarer and harder to find. These coins, as you can see here, here's one from 2020, a lefty, and it is selling for £8.95. Here is one from 2016, selling for £19.50 with a lefty error. Now these lefties usually sell for around £5 to £20 and are fairly easy to see. If you have one, just check the milling on your coin. Now then, a recap. Look out for any date of pound coin after 2020. They're either not released or new King Charles ones worth a bit more money as they are more collectible. In terms of errors, look out for the microtext double dated error, the hardest one to find. Look out for any metal errors on your coin, quite easy one to see, and look out for the lefty pound coins. In today's video, we will discuss every rare and error £2 coin that you could find in your change or may already have in your wallet. We will first go through the rare dates to look out for, then move on to errors, and as it says there, no commemoratives, purely rare dates of normal coins, and then errors as well. So we have here the standard definitive design from when the £2 coin was first released in the bimetallic form we use today, and then looking to the obverse you can see here the portrait of the Queen. It is worth noting this portrait is not rare. It was only used for 1 year on the £2 coin before changing in 1998, the second year of this £2 coin. However, if you find this design of the Queen, it is not rare. Many tens of millions were produced. It just happened to be that the portrait changed the year after it was first used. Now this definitive design that we can see there to the reverse of the coin, the technologies, was used all the way up until 2015, and over all of these years there are no rare technology £2 coins between 1997 and 2015. Every year is fairly highly minted, so there are no rarities. The definitive design changed to the Britannia design in 2015, and it is from here onwards that there are rare dates to look out for. The first one being 2015, so that first year of the new design, with 650,000 produced, and this leading the coins now sell for around £4 to £5. Online about £4 or £5 sterling for a 2015 Britannia. The second year of the new design, also a bit more common but also quite rare, 2016, as we can see they're just under 3 million minted, but also sells for a similar price on eBay of around about £4 or £5. For people looking to buy this coin, around £4 or £5 will be the sale price for the coin. Now the next year, 2017, is an NIFC for the first time, meaning that it did not go into circulation, with only 53,481 produced for the collector's sets. So this one now will sell for £27.95 in this case, or £29.75 in this case. So a 2017 £2 coin Britannia will sell for around £25 to £30. Now the year after, 2018, is again an NIFC not intended for circulation, with only around 30,000 made this time, leading the coin to sell for around £50. We can see there, this one a bit less, around £40 or just over £40. So between £40 and £50 for a 2008 Britannia £2 coin. And the year afterwards is again an NIFC, with around 53,000 produced in these collector's sets that could very well be in circulation. NIFC coins are found in circulation all the time. I found one myself only a few months ago. And as you've seen here, the prices for this one is around £25 for a 2019 Britannia, if one turns up in your change. And here again we have 2020 and NIFC, so many years in a row here are NIFCs, so all worth looking out for. The 2021 will sell for a bit less, around £14 or £15 for the 2020 Britannia. We can see here this one actually only £13.95, so a bit of a cheaper one to buy there than some of the previous years. Now 2021 has a mintage of 6,045,000, so there have been quite a few made ready for circulation, but important, very important, post 2016 £2 coins are all unreleased. That is to say that they have been made, as the mintage figure shows, but they are all stored in big huge boxes and crates and kept at the Royal Mint, ready for demand. So as of right now, as of filming, these are not in circulation, so they will only be released when more coins are needed, subject to demand. And they have not yet been released, leading the only way to get one for now is to buy one from the bunk packs. They sell for around £20 at the moment, so you can see there around the £20 mark for 2021. This, though, I would urge you not to get too hyped up about these prices, as the price will definitely drop as the 6 million are released into circulation whenever that may be. The same here we have with 2022. A further 4,030,000 Britannia ones were struck that year, and again, the only way to buy them is the ones from the bunk pack, as they are not yet in circulation. They sell for around the £20 mark, or slightly under, but again, I do personally predict this price dropping down, as there will be many millions of them going into circulation. The final one to look for is the Memorial Privy Mark. So there was a memorial mark, as we can see there, on all of the definitive coins to mark the sad passing of Queen Elizabeth II, and so this therefore included the Privy Mark going onto a £2 coin, not for circulation, and this sells for around £35 to £40. So you can see there one, but just behind with the Queen's neck there, just behind the Privy Mark, selling for £36. That is the price. Now then, onto the coins, the £2 coins of King Charles III. The new design there is the nations, or the flowers of the nation. Now, similarly with the memorial, there is a Privy Mark behind the King on the 2023 annual set, as that is the year of his coronation. No Privy Mark ones went into circulation, as we can see here. This occurred to all the denominations, and the ones without Privy Marks went into circulation. However, there were no £2 coins minted for circulation in 2023, so the only one you can find of this design for this year, 2023, has the Privy Mark. These will sell for around £10, around about the £10 mark on the second-hand market. And like I say, this is the only version, so the Privy Mark version is the only version of the 2023 one, as none went into circulation. Now, 2024 and 2025 mintages are unknown, so they might go into circulation, they might not, we don't know yet. But of course, as we don't know yet and they're not in circulation yet, the only ones you can buy are the bunk ones. And again, they sell for around or just under the £10 mark for the 2024 ones. And as it is still early on in 2025, the coins have only just been released, so they haven't settled down yet, but they'll be about £10 to £15 as they make their way onto the second-hand market. So there's the rare dates to look for. Now, onto the errors. What error £2 coins are out there to find? Well, firstly, number one is the fried egg error. As we can see here, it is called this as it looks like the sort of the yolk of an egg spilling out into the white, or in this case, the inner metal spilling out into the outer. That can happen on normal coins, as you've seen just there, or here happening on a commemorative one with the inner part spilling out. What are these worth? Well, that very one you just saw, the Charles Dickens error, sold for £105. Now, usually they do command more money if it happens to a commemorative, especially if it's a bunk commemorative, so one not in circulation. Here we have the Mayflower, a fried egg error on that, selling for £600. But usually, just a regular £2 coin from your change with a fried egg error, £45 to £90. Number two is the rotation error. As you may have guessed, this is where the coin, the inner part, has rotated. So to the left there is the normal, how it should look, and then to the right there is an example of a rotation error, where the inner part is rotated. Quite hard to picture, unless we have a mirror there to sort of see one side the right way up, and then the Queen's portrait facing the wrong way. Now, these are quite hard to price because it depends on how much they have rotated, but a general price for a rotation error is around between the £10 and £25 mark, unless it is sort of really severe, and on a commemorative it might command a bit more. Number three is the edge inscription errors. As you will know, £2 coins have edge inscriptions, or writing around the edge of the coin, but sometimes these can be errors, or that is to say that the wrong edge inscription has been put with the wrong design. So here's one that's an error that sold for £123, where it's a commemorative coin that has the wrong, that has another commemorative coin's edge inscription put onto it. So the coin should say, "What a piece of work is a man" for a Shakespeare coin, but it says "King and Country" for the World War II coin, so an error leading for a high sale price. Number four is the mule error. Notice here this is a Lord Kitchener £2 coin, but although we know it's a £2 coin, it doesn't say £2 on it, as the wrong head side has been used. So that should say £2 on the head side, but it doesn't. It's an error, no denomination. These Lord Kitchener mules sell for around £450 to £1,000. So though it is a common coin, do check, and if it is a mule error, it's worth a lot more than £2. Please do comment down below any extra or other errors that you know about, and of course please subscribe if you've enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again soon for some more coins in the future on Bits and Bobs. Bye for now.